Hi. I wanted to respond to Megyn Kelly's where is it? Praising of the State Department on their policies, which are she's saying, oh, rah, 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 thank you for kicking out the people who are violent and either verbally or with their rhetoric or by shooting people, like Charlie Kirk. And I mean, I'm just fit to be tied because Megyn Kelly is amongst the many who has been ignoring me, um, and all of the my activism work, which is, I mean, I'm delighted with Charlie Kirk and getting into the schools. We need to clean that up and in challenging this crazy, crazy, crazy woke rhetoric that's entered and infiltrated society and means, I mean, it's taken over Washington. I've been saying that a long time, but Megyn Kelly's to where, everybody like, subscribe, and getting new memberships for their platforms. The podcasters that have come out and come from Tucker Carlson is guilty of the same thing. I've contacted Joe Rogan. I've contacted them all, big and small. And I've been doing this for 20 years. I mean, I've done my research. So don't tell me I'm a stupid bimbo who doesn't have a $10 million nonprofit, because I won't do that, because it's all about just, you become nothing but puppets of your donors. It all needs to be stopped, because also that money needs to be used elsewhere. This is, not only are all these nonprofits, 58,000 in Washington alone, and 300,000, I think, in the United States. They're just, adding to the witch's brew and radicalizing both sides, and not, I mean, okay, you don't want to go across and abolish all nonprofits, because there are some people, it's just like with the church. You're not going to go and abolish all churches, but you need to hold them to account of what they're doing. And it becomes like the opulent Catholic Church. Yeah, don't get me started on Catholics. Which, I mean, Megyn Kelly is Catholic. So anyway, I mean, the Catholics have done as much damage as everybody, all the other minorities, since the 80s, well, excuse me, since the 60s, since they rose to power in Washington in the 60s. Everybody is always thinking of race, and religion and stuff, and they're forgetting about the age-old fight between the Catholics and the Protestants. That started in the 1500s. So, like, maybe we should resolve some of these discussions. Anyway, yeah, I really didn't appreciate Megyn Kelly saying, rah, 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 listen to this with the State Department, and then we'll get into my activism work and what I've been asking from the State Department forever, for 20 years.
This moment, to take this one shot and have it work from 200 yards away. Right now, one other piece of news, the State Department just putting out, before I get to that, here's the video, here's the site. If you have pictures of YouTube, it's fbi.gov/Utah Valley shooting, fbi.gov/Utah Valley shooting, or just call the FBI, 1-800-CALL-FBI. The State Department putting out the following moments ago. This is from the Deputy Secretary of State. In light of yesterday's horrific assassination of a leading political figure, I want to underscore that foreigners who glorify violence and hatred are not welcome visitors to our country. I've been disgusted to see some on social media praising, rationalizing, or making light of the event, and have directed our consular officials to undertake appropriate action. Good for him. Please feel free to bring such comments by foreigners to my attention so that the State Department can protect the American people. That's great. That's beautiful. Why they're guests in our home. Get the fuck out if you're going to celebrate the murder of one of our most beloved citizens. You're not allowed to stay here. You have no right to be here. we just now finally have a State Department that recognizes that and will do what it can to protect us. I've done so many turning point events with Charlie, both.
Okay, so see, Megan Kelly, this is how misinformed also you are. Because I've also, apart from the State Department, I'm thinking of this right now that you're saying this, and we'll look at that as well. Apart from the State Department, I contacted when after the January 6th, um, where am I? The January 6th insurrection, there where beautiful friends, here we are, the January 6th. I saw the Biden administration came out with the DVE report, Domestic Violence Extremist Report. And when I read the categories of that, I was like, oh my Lord. I'm pretty sure we have the categories in here. Yeah, here it is. So we've got racially or ethnically motivated violent extremist, animal rights, environmentalist, all of the different categories. Oh, the one that I keep on pulling out and pulling out is the abortion related. I can take them all down on that one alone. The alt-right wants, and this, where are the Schlafly Eagles and Ed Martin? They've been contacted. Phyllis Schlafly, she was at the lead on all of this stuff, the alt-right, anti-abortion. Um, and I do agree, a woman to, you have this situation of the rights of the mother and the rights of the unborn child. I always say, yeah, well, funny that all of the women who are fighting for the rights of the unborn child don't want to work with me on the rights for the born children that we already have in this world. So anyway, like the alt-right, they just push that agenda. And then the left is, oh, let's go all out and F around. And then who cares if we get pregnant, we'll just pop a pill, or if that doesn't work, go and get an abortion at a clinic. I mean, you even have some these days recently I've seen, I mean, oh, you're just like, you people are sick. Really, like we need to put you in a cuckoo's nest of oh, I wish I could go and have an abortion. I mean, they've gone crazy. It is a cult. It is, you do have to treat the woke alt left as a cult, as like mind control. In fact, Joe Rogan and Charlie Sheen were talking about that chaos. Now, this has been, don't just, oh, well, that was these guys with the CIA and Intel. No, this has been used, the HR, all of this psychobabble and mind control stuff that was, well, I guess it was started under Hitler. Maybe we can even go back farther than that in the Enlightenment and all of the different thinkers. But okay, that's a whole other debate. But definitely after World War II, there was all of this, and Candace Owens is talking about that stuff with Brigitte Macron, and that's, maybe that's, anyway, again, this has been going on, HR in the schools, just mind control, and it gets into unhealthy eating, into everything. And Charlie Kirk was talking about all of that stuff. So, it's like both sides are extremists. Boom, close them all down because they're both crazy. So just on that one alone, you can close everybody down in this town and say you're all violent extremist terrorists. Go home. And that, particularly, I mean, the IMF, the World Bank, and the UN are, if Congress, I mean, Congress is completely controlled. Washington, I mean, all of Washington, private and public sector, restaurant business. Oh, God, I really had to keep my cool. The new manager, when I said something about Charlie Kirk, says, I don't want to talk about politics now. This is a Spaniard. So again, I won't deviate on that subject right now. But I mean, I was fit to be tied. Oh, see, it's that moment when Ward is up there going, little girl, don't lose your cool because that's what they want you to do. I mean, I really wanted to turn around and slap the man. And I never, 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 never ask anybody, the last time I was violent with anybody was when I was, I think the last time maybe it was 14. Yeah, my sister. I mean, it was always my sister. That was, and that's why I learned that the agenda and the objective is to get you to explode. I mean, everybody, it was the joke in my family with my younger sister. So, anyway, we've got anti government, anti authority, all of these things. I was like, oh, like in class when you know the answer. Oh, I know, go over there. So I contacted um, America First Legal. Where is this? The first one that I sent. I mean, I sent it right away. And then, of course, I got ignored, ignored, ignored. And so I started sending emails to all sorts of other people. Would you please tell America First Legal to start cleaning all of this up? And that's what needs to be done. Instead of Megyn Kelly getting out there and talking with half a brain because she doesn't understand. I mean, this has been the problem. This is a problem with the journalists across the board. They're more interested in their careers and being liked and having a huge audience. Then I get it. It's a business. I mean, this is why I've got global expat I came up with. Um, because yeah, you got to survive, but you got to do it ethically. So here's the explanation of what I've been concentrating on with, my this is the American Abroad Caucus of the rights of Americans living abroad. And the response that I get
Hello,
from
good
these
morning.
snot-nosed
Hi,
brats.
Sophie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Here, let me fast forward because I dropped off and then phrases.
My end, it got unstable. It dropped off. Assist expatriated families who are living abroad. I mean, the American Women's Club, of course, their target are Americans. We've got the FIAF, which is targeting the French. Then you have the IMF Family Association, World Bank, Family Network. So there's lots. The original one is the Federation of American Women's Clubs Overseas. That was started in 1931 with the objective of bringing women together to promote world peace and defending the citizens' rights of Americans living abroad. So that's where my focus is in the issues, because my organization, Global Expats, it's really open for all people who are living abroad, regardless of what country and regardless of what nationality. But let's focus on the Americans living abroad. So I became involved in a domestic violence divorce case in Spain 15 years ago. And basically what's happening is the courts, the lawyers, the courts, everybody in the courts, you can go, I mean, I can send you documents. I have these on my activism websites. The violence is being covered up. Victims are being re-victimized. We have, when it's in cases of children, 70% of sexually and physically abused children are handed over to the abuser. In the case of psychological abuse, it goes to 90%. So, this is not insignificant. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the obligation to protect under international law and the Constitution.
Sure.
Are you? Okay. So that establishes the obligation of the American government to protect its citizens, even if they're in a foreign jurisdiction. Okay. So now, how do they do that? Their tool, if you will, is the consulate. So the consulate, there is the Vienna Convention of Consular Relations. Are you familiar with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was 1963. So clearly, and all of these, the different categories, the different things, the different sections, it's all clearly marked in the Convention of Consular Relations. So I've been soliciting through my consulate in Spain first. When they hung me out to dry, they said, "We have nothing we can do, nothing we can do." I said, "Of course, you have an obligation to do something." So when I got back to the States, I started lobbying the State Department. Now, not only on my case, other people who have brought me cases. Most of it is custody, but there is a man in Japan that was a like industrial espionage, intellectual property. I mean, the thing is people come to me with all their evidence. I said, I don't have the power enough or authority to examine this. This has to be examined by the judicial systems. And if the judicial systems aren't doing it, well, that's when the State Department and the embassies and consulates come in. Are you following me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're not doing that. They're refusing. I mean, I've worked my way all the way up to the State Department. It was under Senator Kerry. Oh gosh, and then I forget all of the State Department secretaries of state after that. So they've all gotten a letter. So since the State Department's not doing its job, I have been going over to Congress. Now, Americans living abroad don't have a representative because they're not living in a state. So what establishes, who you can solicit assistance from for a constituent request under, the federal agency is not doing its job is any state where you have a family member, where you last lived, or you have lived. For me, this is Arizona, Louisiana, well, Florida because it also involves the industrial espionage in my case, because it was a web designer in Florida. So I've just solicited again assistance from Senator Scott and Senator Rubio in Florida. Rubio has responded. They said they're going to look into it. Again, this bucks it over to the State Department. Now, the State Department has got to start assuring that the consulates, the moment somebody comes to a consulate and said, I am in a judicial, whatever, if it's a hearing, whether it's a court case, in some sort of judicial or extrajudicial procedure, the State Department has an obligation, and the consulate has an obligation to assure that the rights of the litigants are being respected.
Okay, I'll stop there because I think I've explained that. Oh, and then I get into the international, what is it? The International Convention on Child Abduction, because that's another whole mess that only determines those courts, the Hague courts, only determine who has jurisdiction. So if the jurisdiction, both of the jurisdiction are covering up any problems of domestic abuse, it just is, oh well, usually it ends since usually the child is being handed over to the abuser, and that's why the person is fleeing. Well, then that child is being handed back to the abuser, and the international court is becoming complicit. I mean, yes, the intention of those who wrote the laws was with the idea, and this goes back, you've got to look into the history of these laws. The Missing Child Act is involved in there. Jen Shaw, her father was Congressman Shaw from Florida, who was the author of that 1985. She was my classmate at Foxcroft. We were friends, but she's been canceled. I mean, she's even gotten off of, well, she blocked me on Facebook. I guess she hasn't gotten off of Facebook, but she blocked me. I mean, it's the same thing with Marianne Seigart. Marianne Seigart, their family trees in Tera that were killed in the Holocaust. And again, not only did she not respond to my email, she blocked me. And her book, she's just like Megyn Kelly. She's a UK journalist. Her book is The Authority Gap: Why Women Are Not Taken Seriously and What We Can Do About It. I'm like, well, if you behave a little bit more seriously, then people will take you more seriously. This in the video, I don't think I
Well, that's
played her.
Mark. He marks up medicines.
This
As
is
a
my
nonprofit,
response to
we
all of
might
these
pay a penny
feminists
for a
having an
medicine.
old feminist.
Mark marks it up to
There is a coordinated effort by the feminist movement to get you to hate babies. And it is honestly shocking to me. Let me just say this. If you, as a woman, hate babies, there is something fundamentally wrong with you. Today on the show, we're tackling all of the lies brought to you by the girl with the list trend and all of the propaganda to convince women that pregnancy, childbirth, and motherhood is something to run away from. Plus, new insane headlines from our friends in the UK about men being put into women's societal positions in the most shocking ways possible, this time female genital mutilation. Yeah. And is Meta doing a severe 180 pivot on finally protecting free speech? Let's figure it all out today on The Isabel Brown Show.
This is I advise you. I'll put these videos, these slides as well in the video with this, and then you can watch that because that's one. This is also one that I didn't play, and I'll play since I'm now on Megyn Kelly. This is, of course, this dates back to when and was it Chris Como was accused of sexual harassment.
Blah, blah, adding to the cacophony with no action.
Let's go here.
But he's alt left. I have to say, I agree with a lot of things that he has to say. I even challenged him.
Oh, I'm talking about Bill Maher. Hold on. Here, I think.
Copyright. I mean, my channel is non-monetized, so they do the copyright. But she. Oh wait, let me read this. I did want to read the comment that I was going to post, or that I posted and was deleted. That's what pissed me off. So actually, I had added on to this thing because I had copied it in a notepad, but this is the essential. So what I sent was a little bit more detailed, but so why are these types of cases like Como, Chris Como, this is really ridiculous, really. Well, there's so many problems. I mean, just look at my, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Kilborn House, and what I'm putting up with, because none of these women's rights lawyers will go, it's all about fame and fortune. And if it's a high profile case, political motivations or financial motivations. Other than that, the rest of the women in this world can go and screw themselves and their children. So, why are these types of cases given such coverage by the press? Yet for the past 6 years, lawyers and the press have been covering up by their omission of action to act to the rampant problems of couch casting and rampant internal mismanagement in the International Monetary Fund, IMF. I post the link to the evidence and the proof of the complaint that I filed. Now Megyn Kelly is attacking the activists because their links, there's no meat and potatoes there. You go to every single link, everything that I do, there's meat and potatoes. And I mean, this gets into calculus derivative stuff. Not 1 + 1 = 2. After 15 years, we're not even talking algebra, we're talking calculus. I mean, we really need a computer data challenge, big data to sift through all the crap that's out there.
Like
But it's
Elon
on the
Musk
internet.
did.
Uh,
You apply that.
as I say,
Trust
I've
it.
documented everything that I say is backed up by the research, the evidence,
Okay.
the proof,
I'm going on a little bit too much. There.
the
Okay.
human rights industry, the
Oh,
defense of the American government, and Gonzalez Linehan versus USA 2011, Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, and Gonzalez Carreño versus Spain 2014, CEDA. So I get this one down. And while all the big wig human rights lawyers, including Carrie Bettinger Lopez, Biden's advisor to the White House on VAW, violence against women, just love my work and argumentation, no one will submit, including big wig Baltazar Garzon, champion of universal jurisdiction. See all the proof and evidence which debunks the propaganda in the press about domestic violence and the supposed assistance of women and children given by the DV experts, shelters, lawyers, courts, and everyone else in the game, posted on www.warondomesticterrorism.com and Taking Back for America. It's a Wix account. I don't have enough money for a domain right now. So it's under Gwen B. Wilcox 2.wixsite.com, Taking Back America. That's how poor I am. I'm cutting down everywhere I can. They want to shut me up. They want to cancel me. They want to marginalize me. God's provided in the past. For the past 7 years, I have been on the committee of family court reform activists to reach the press. And the interim years, I have been racking up more and more evidence against those in the press who have refused to expose these issues. If my message, my subliminal message, because this is how women talk. You know, we're not like men that you mess with me, I'll take you and beat you to a pulp. We are much more, particularly the ruling elite women. See, and this is where civilized society comes in. You make more than certain your adversary knows, and diplomacy knows, I'm willing to be friends, but I'm not willing to sell my soul. So if you want to be friends in addressing these issues, I'm certainly open. The door is open. However, if you want to be a foe and you want to shut me up, but a whole other ballgame. You know.
Yeah, so I made my point anyway. I have to go through that and clip that because I did, you know, the whole thing when Chris Como, that was, I think, Don Lemon was my understanding. I forget now what it was, but it was like, I'm sorry, we are dealing with like so many serious, you know, sexual assault, sexual molestation, you know, for the little people. Oh, well, it's just the little people. If anything happens to a celebrity, it's the end of the world. But you know, the little people can go screw themselves. That is the definition of you know, an aristocracy, and that's not what the United States is about. This whole thing of entitlement. Oh, Cher Denise started reading the book entitled about Prince Andrew. I'm pretty sure this is the Andrew Lowney or something book. Oh, but he is like so anti uh aristocracy. I mean, it just oozes from him if you listen to him. So that's going to definitely be very biased. Um, but this whole thing of let's trash everybody. It just is out of control. It's out of control. And then the elite. I mean, I mean, I got fired one time because a girl, she was an assistant manager, a snot-nosed brat assistant manager. This is just the denigration game, having me reporting to, minimum wage jobs at the bottom of the totem pole and having these snot-nosed brat 30-year-olds who don't know what the hell they're doing, giving me attitude and getting me fired over the most ridiculous things. She said that she was American Indian. She was Hungarian and American Indian was her, lineage. And I said, well, what? I asked her because I am looking at all of the different tribes in the United States, and I asked her, said, oh, what tribe? Like from what region? And apparently that offended her so much that the next day I come in and I mean, I just walk in and they say you're fired because you offended her. I was like, you're kidding me, right? No, I mean, there was no discussion. It was the two. It was Latina, una Latina. Uy, las latinas, se mete conmigo, las latinas que se han metido conmigo. Uy, eso. Ya, España y Colombia. Mira esto, todo eso. Así, no metes así. Uy, 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 uy. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's my Catholic blood or whatever, but I know that's a whole. I mean, that's as bad as with the American women. It's a whole other. See, it's a different flavoring. I admit we're in a whole different flavoring there, but believe me. So anyway, yeah, I just this has got to stop. This has got to stop, ladies. Really. And all you elitists. I mean, I think he like grabbed me by the butt or something, and oh, I couldn't do this because now you're fired. I mean, get a life, you people. Oh, and the Jean Carroll stuff. I mean, from the beginning with that shit, I was like, wait a second, some guy, okay, asking me about a scarf, ground floor Bergdorf Goodman, no big deal, like totally innocent. That's fine. You want to, and if it's you're interested, even that's innocent. But the second, oh, will you come up to lingerie and try on something and help me pick something out and then try it on? I mean, you stupid idiot. Just what did your mother teach you? This has got to stop. As I said, it's got to stop. It's got to stop.